I'd like to welcome everyone to the dedication of Lis Nouveau on the second anniversary of Hurricane Ida, while we keep in our hearts the people of Florida in the path of Hurricane Idalia. We would also like to take this moment to acknowledge the inclusive history of Houma, Louisiana, as a part of our responsibility to honor and affirm the lives of the people who live here. We recognize the indigenous First Peoples of this land, whose memories may have been erased by violence, displacement, and migration, as well as those who continue to fight for their sovereignty. The Wetlands Discovery Center continues to listen and learn to better understand all of our people and the land and water that we call home. I think we would all agree that our lives looked a lot different at this time 2 years ago. And we're here to celebrate the work we have done as a community to recover from the impacts of Hurricane Ida, while we acknowledge that we still have a lot of work to do. We also recognize the power of art to heal and inspire a community after undergoing catastrophic destruction. That's why we applied for a Making It Public grant that's funded by the Louisiana Division of the Arts and the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area to create this permanent art installation that would be a reminder to us of our tenacity and our love for Southern Louisiana. Lis Nouveau is created out of approximately 250 nutria pelt stretchers that were donated by Mr. Alvin Dominique and Mr. Raymond Groh in honor of Mrs. Wilma Cresoni. Today we have family members of Miss Wilma's in the audience: Becky Dominique, Herbert Cresoni, Lynn Guidry, and Sylvia Harala. Please forgive me if I mispronounce those names. Thank you all for being with us today. So with no further ado, I would like to pass the microphone on to Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser.
Thank you all for being here today. And until I saw the picture, I didn't put the pellets together with, that's a great picture to really kind of understand exactly what this great work of art is going to be. I want to tell you, last time I was here, we were pardoning Beignet. And I know Beignet is now gone on to the Nutria heavens, and passed away on us this year. But look, we're bringing in, I know y'all all saw that Nutria that got pardoned finally. Well, we're going to have a new head of wildlife fishery next year, so we're going to bring that Nutria down this year. We're going to bring national news down to make sure we pardon that Nutria once and for all good, so the next head of wildlife fishery realizes that Nutria gets to live his life out. That Nutria actually travels the country staying in hotels. It's got a pretty good life. But we're excited about that this year. Listen, I'm so proud of the arts community. The arts programs under our office, where we give out these grants and work with all the partners to see local artists create such great works of art all over Louisiana. And this is a great example of that. I tell people there's something in the soil here in Louisiana that grows so much talent, and surely today those artists have shown that by this great creation. You know, this flower, the lotus flower, stands for a flower that thrives in difficult environments. And that's fitting today on the anniversary of so many hurricanes that devastated Louisiana. And to see this community come back as strong as it is. This morning I was down in St. Bernard laying a wreath to see that community. But that's what makes us special. It's communities that come together and help each other during tough times. And surely this community is no different. And I'll tell you today, Volunteer Louisiana under our office has closed out a little over 11,000 cases from the last hurricane. We've got 18,000, so we've still got a few more. But those in volunteers partner with faith-based groups will stay on the ground helping families get back in their home till every person is back in their home. And that's something we all should be proud of. That's 10,000 Louisianans and partners from all over the country that stay the course long after the cameras are gone to help our families get back in these homes, and I'm really proud of those individuals. But thank you for having me here today. Thank you for the great work you do.
I'm Susanna Johansson. I'm the Executive Director for the Louisiana Division of the Arts, and it's my pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate this amazing sculpture. I'd first like to thank the Lieutenant Governor and for his support of the arts. It's through the funding we receive from an interagency transfer from the Office of Tourism that allows us to have meaningful and creative impacts on communities and residents all over the state. Through our Percent for the Arts program, Scott Finch and April Baham worked with Forecast Public Art to develop meaningful workshops to train 26 Louisiana artists to become public art artists. They then paired those artists with municipalities or nonprofits to bring about projects such as Lis Nouveau. It is through collaborations such as this that Scott and April can work with Justin Lemoyne in the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area and Jonathan Foray to take a historic device that is so ingrained in the culture of coastal Louisiana and make it into something truly spectacular and uplifting. I'll be honest, I'm a North Carolina girl. I didn't know what a nutria pelt stretcher looked like, but I know Jonathan, and I knew that it would be something extraordinary. So congratulations to Jonathan, the South Louisiana Wetlands Discovery Center, and the City of Houma. And thank you to the Lieutenant Governor and the Division of the Arts staff for helping to make this all come to fruition.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Next, we'd like to hear from Atchafalaya National Heritage Area Executive Director Justin Lemoyne.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having us here today. We were very happy to be a part of this. For those of you that don't know, the Heritage Area Program represents a program of the National Park Service to preserve and document national landscapes of significance and importance for the entire country. The Atchafalaya region in south central Louisiana, the significance of this region is our Louisiana French heritage, but it's also the resilience of the people that live here. We live in what early settlers might have thought was a very inhospitable environment, but water has shaped every aspect of our culture, from the preservation of our language to our foodways to our celebrations and our traditions. And year over year, hurricane after hurricane and challenge after challenge, we've proven that we can take something that is very much a challenge, like the nutria, an invasive species, and turn it into something of, a work of art, something that nourishes our pets, something that provides jobs for people, and ultimately it just is a symbol of the resilience of our people, that we can take anything you throw at us and turn it into something beautiful.
In our darkest days, we always find what it takes to rise up. And we dig deep in South Louisiana, and the character of our people, just like the lotus flower, always rises up. And so there's no really better example of the kind of spirit that we have in South Louisiana than this collaborative artwork from Hans Geist and Kevin Brown. Lis Nouveau is a testament to both our history and our strength and our capacity to always dig deep and always rise up.
A lot of people don't realize most of the students at Nicholls State University, they come from Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish, and more students come from Terrebonne than any other parish in the state. So this is very much our home. It's my home, and we're so honored to be a part of this today, so thank you.
What is special about what I get to do each day at Fletcher is because I'm in the business of education. And while a storm can come in and it can take our homes and it can take our personal property, it can't take our knowledge and our skills and our abilities as a people.
If anybody doesn't know, Jonathan is Terrebonne Parish's 2022 Most Useful Citizen Award recipient. And you can see why. When that announcement was made at the Chamber banquet, we thought there could have been so many other terms you can use for Jonathan. Useful, resilient, passionate, determined, and Terrebonne Parish is truly grateful for you to be a resident here and your passion. So thank you for that. I was asked to talk about the business community, and what I'll say is this. Following Ida, textbooks teach us in business school and universities that money is the lifeblood line of a business. What August 30th, 2 years ago taught me, people are the lifeblood of your business. And at the Chamber of Commerce, 600 members strong, 600 businesses strong, what we learned after the storm is, in Terrebonne Parish, we have a lot of great people. And in turn, we have a lot of great businesses. Our business community is still hurting, still recovering, but the spirit is unwavering.
We wanted to focus on, what the parish has been doing. I mean, we have some good news to say. All right, well, when we first started, we had over 2,600 temporary housing units in Terrebonne Parish between the state and FEMA, right? So the good news is now we have just over 1,100 2 years later. So the bad news is we have just over 1,100 2 years later, right? While we're very appreciative of all the help and assistance that both the state and FEMA have been given with those temporary housing units, I mean, that would be the one major criticism is how long that program takes to get up and running. And then that can be said of a lot of the programs. I mean, the money is there, it's allocated like it needs to be, but just to go through that process takes so long. I mean, what are those people doing 2 years later? But not to dwell on that. I mean, we have just recently a big batch of our hazard mitigation and FMA applications have moved forward from the state review to FEMA, which is huge. I mean, if we compare to previous storms, where we are with this one, we're ahead. Right? Even though it's 2 years later and some of these things are just getting to FEMA's review, that's still way ahead of where we were in the past on similar when we had previous storms. So we're thankful for that to happen.
Thank you to Louisiana Division of the Arts for supporting artists like us, for giving us this opportunity, for the Wetlands Discovery Center, and thank you for Lieutenant Governor for being here, dignitaries. I know it's kind of a muggy day, but at least it's not blazing hot like it's been. And anyway, it's just it's a privilege and honor to be here, to be standing here and have this opportunity to create the sculpture, Lis Nouveau. When I first saw the call, it was kind of last minute, and I didn't know really what it was about, and read up, and really there was no subject or didn't know what it was going to be about. All I knew is that we had a box of NutriPelt stretchers to work with, and had to come up with an idea. So after brainstorming and just kind of praying about the idea, I think God really revealed a vision in my heart to do something that would represent the rebirth of our community. And as it's been said before, I know that this doesn't say that we have rebuilt, that we're there yet. It's still a process. It's still a long way to go. Even after 2 years, there's still much to be done. I know people personally who are still not back in their homes, that their homes are demolished, and they're still living in a temporary place. So for me, my heart was just to create something to show that, we're rebirthed from the ground up. We're trying to rebuild and we restarted, but we're not there yet. But this sculpture just kind of represents that. It's the interpretation of just trying to get there. Lis Nouveau was created not to say that we've recovered, but rather to say that we are still in the process of recovering. We are determined and unwavering in the face of devastation, and our will to rebuild is evident in the resilience of our people. We created this sculpture as a monument of our desire to move forward in the face of hell or high water. I was honored to be chosen. We are honored to be chosen as artists for this project, and thankful for this opportunity. So thank you all for being here, and I also just want to thank my wife and my family, my mother and her fiance for being here. Thank you all so much. God bless.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
The final person we have to speak today is your 2015 Louisiana Middle School Teacher of the Year and Poet Laureate of Chauvin. I just gave her that title. Miss Summer Skarkey.
We clicked our heels 3 times. You came at us when we were already broken, words of healing still unspoken. We had been shut in and shut down for 2 years, COVID profound. We appeared to be foreigners in our own hometowns. Face masks, lockdown, quarantine, we were popping at the seams and longing for Sunday gatherings and laughing. We were 1 foot in, ready to begin life again, waiting in position on your mark, get set. But the gun did not go off and we froze. Tuned in to the local news, catastrophic reviews. Already broken and shattered, we were numb, struggling to decipher what mattered. Every news station blew up, projection, direct hit, category 5, wins at an all-time high. It was a rush, small town, see you later, alligator, goodbye. But we did what we always do, and we lied to ourselves, pretending it would be okay, convincing ourselves to stay because going makes you a coward. And Daddy always says it's best to hunker down and stay close to town. But because this wasn't our first rodeo, we lacked trust and we questioned our gut. People deciding to go or to stay is tough. Some of us hit the road, should I stay or should I go now, blaring on the internal radio? If we go, there might be trouble. If we stay, could we handle the struggle? The moment was quick, family split, close-knit, torn, ripped. Looking for shelter from the storm, Florida to Texas we dispersed, highways immersed with hopeful travelers. We had no clue of the mess we were leaving behind. Guys, sometimes Mother Nature, she's just unkind. We treated it like a vacation. It was a weekend getaway, took 3 pairs of clothes, wasn't prepared to stay for a week or a month away. Just wanted to escape the rain, the high winds, knowing, well, we'd be home soon again. But Ida came like an unwelcome guest. And we let her in because Mama always says that making friends is best. She came and she stayed, taking what wasn't hers, robbed us like a thief, had grown men praying in fear on their knees, houses shaking, roofs breaking, homes taken. And she still wouldn't go. Communication at an all-time low to the outside world. We were lost a few hours. It was an irreplaceable cost. The world went silent. As the winds blew beyond measure, those that stayed gripping to their families like John Lafitte's treasure, land soaking, words unspoken, fear the token, spirits broken. Hours went by in the dark, connection to the outside world torn apart, searching for shelter in parts of the homes that remain. Would life ever be the same? No electricity, no AC, no Wi-Fi, no TV, no radio, no lights, no emergency help in sight. We were stuck. Up to our heads, the silence outside was deafening. Were we dead? 2 weeks, hell. Months went by before people came home to a town unrecognizable. Who's reliable? People came from every part of the world, and we were oysters struggling to make pearls. Then demolition day came. And people were back home, and the mitigation tribes of vultures circling my mother's home. A stack of mail read 2008, a postcard with love from Yogi Bear. God could not be everywhere, so he created mothers. Read a Mother's Day card dated 1998. All now lay burning to ash in my mother's front yard in a burn barrel as they gutted out her home. Christmas wrapping paper, wicker baskets, Jesus pictures with wooden frames continued to deepen her pain. What do I do with my religious stuff, my mom cried. People are just throwing Jesus away, replied the mitigation man, as he held the picture of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. His words cut her deeper than high tide at Robinson Canal. She grabbed Jesus' picture from his hand and saw the phrase that said, "Let this cup pass," and she laid it at her feet. Her action spoke to him, and she let him know without a word, "Not in this house. We don't throw Jesus away." It is hard for her, but she bears and she brings and she bears each bag that she cannot see burdens her. What if it's a picture of her son who passed away, or her mother's wedding ring that she still can't find? The smoke from the burn barrel is heavy and thick, and the sun's rays too hot for her to bear. A dumpster in her front yard piled up with 76 years of blankets and baby clothes and Sun-Tea water pitchers. How do you decide what's important? What's nostalgic? What has value? When all of it holds a memory rooted to your past. We have learned a lot from the redfish that can still hang on and adapt no matter what water it finds itself in, salty or fresh. We clicked our heels 3 times and we were home. But there was work to be done, hun. Look on the bright side. We survived, made it out alive, living in a blue tarp paradise. Didn't matter how long it would take for the memory of fear to subside. Consistent, like the sun, Bayou people, we always rise. Thank you.